East everyone. If my speech is slurring, I just got out of the dentist office. So, anyhow, these are the Gorgets I was working on. So basically, after cutting them, I took a file to them, took some sandpaper to the edges too to grind off the file marks as best as I could. So here's the deal. If you look at historical examples like Osceola and then like I think Creek Billy or one of the other portraits, you'll see the multiple gorgets, and you'll have this crease all along, like the border of it. Now, the thing is, that's what you see in the images. But when you look at one of the historical examples I've seen that I cited in my last video on the subject, you have these embossments. Now, I was kind of playing with this, and I hammered it out with the tool, and I realized it just looked really, really awkward. So I hammered down around, I guess you could say I fluted it, around the crease that was embossed, sticking up. And then I went back and I hammered once again into that same original crease to kind of clean up some of those markings. However, there's a bunch of other markings, as you can see, on the inside and outside of this gorget. Now, I need to work on that and figure out how to address that. I'm probably gonna have to modify some other, cold chisel tool, totally smooth out the edge of it and do something like that. Maybe get some piece of mild steel and grind it accordingly. And, because I'll be hitting this and this will be back with a piece of wood. So it won't be like I'm hitting mild steel on steel, right? But, we'll see. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do this exactly. A tempered steel would be better, but yeah, so that's kind of the current state of that. Before I get this one figured out, or until I get this one figured out, I'm not going to do the creases on this. This one, like this one, are from that set I aforementioned, and they both had the embossment coming up. Okay, this one looks a little bit more like a nickel silver example from, based off of one that looks more like a British Gorget, but yeah, I like this one, and I'm willing to kind of reflatten it out, because I actually had to reflatten this out. It was totally curled, and then I had to reflatten it out just to get all the hammer marks, and then I kind of, dish out a little bit more once again. I may have to, again, kind of reflatten it. So it's a process, and once I get that process down better, I will show you guys what exactly it's going to take. And obviously, you can literally see the sandpaper marks. I got to do a lot more sanding on these. I'll probably buff them. I might have a buffing wheel somewhere, but if not, I'll have to acquire one because I definitely need to have one. And of course, I'll have to drill the appropriate holes in all of these, and that way I can either do a chain, which did exist historically, or use ribbons, which is probably what I'm actually going to use. It'll be a little bit easier. It was also historical, and it might just be easier than trying to build some crazy chain. Anyway, just want to throw that out there. Let me know what you think, and I will share more of this as things press forward. For my boy, if I cannot get this one to look right, I'm going to do another one this size, one slightly smaller, and then one slightly smaller. So he has triple gorgets. Because this one, when it was not creased, it looked cool on him. Or I might do a sample or do another one that happens to have just the indentation instead of the embossment. So that way it's a cleaner looking line, like what you'll see on some of the historical examples. Again, Osceola. And but yeah, so more to come on this. I had a brass one I was going to work on. The problem is I have some pewter that I was going to melt for my R.E. Davis pipe tomahawk. The problem is I did a lead test, And that stuff ended up showing that it had that, there was at least a small amount of lead in the pewter. Well, I tested the brass, and there was even more, and that was a much more recent manufacturer. So either that was just really dirty brass, I can polish it, and I could then, test it again. But yeah, I kind of tend to think that there's just lead in that piece of brass, and that was going to be a really nice looking Gorget, but probably not going to do that one now. Not that it would immediately kill me, it would be over my clothing, but in any case, this stuff is used very frequently. It's Crazy Crow, so it should be good material. I have not tested it. If this test is having lead, then everything has lead, and we might as well not worry at that point. But anyway, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you later. But